What if your mornings held the same power that shaped an emperor? Imagine waking up, not overwhelmed, not chaotic, but anchored in the quiet strength that once guided Marcus Aurelius, ruler of the largest empire on earth. Every dawn before stepping into a world of political turmoil, betrayal, pressure, and expectation, he faced the same storms we do: anxiety, frustration, distraction, fear. But here's the secret. He didn't win his battles on the battlefield. He won them in the first moments of the morning. Not through luck, not through comfort, but through a set of mantras he whispered to himself, mantras powerful enough to steady a ruler, sharpen a philosopher, and strengthen a human soul. And today, you're about to learn those very same morning mantras, 8 Stoic rituals capable of instantly shifting your mindset, and maybe even your life. Mantra 1, you have power over your mind. Not outside events. Imagine this: it's early morning in the Roman palace. The world is still asleep, but Marcus Aurelius is awake. He sits alone, a faint oil lamp flickering beside him. Outside his chamber walls, an empire waits for his decisions, decisions that will shape the lives of nearly 60 million people. And yet, before he speaks to a general, before he confronts a crisis, before he faces the weight of an entire empire, he whispers to himself a single reminder: you have power over your mind, not outside events. This wasn't just philosophy to him. This was armor. Marcus understood that the world outside him was unpredictable, chaotic, constantly shifting. Empires rise and fall. Loyalties change. Disease sweeps through cities without warning. But inside the mind, there is a fortress that no one can breach unless you open the gates. He wrote in Meditations, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind." And today, modern science confirms what an emperor understood 2,000 years ago. A Harvard study found that nearly 47% of our daily stress comes from focusing on things we cannot control. Not the situation itself, our focus. So breathe with me now. Slow in, slow out, and let this moment reset your attention. Because the truth is simple: every morning, you wake up facing events you cannot control: messages, expectations, judgments, traffic, surprises, disappointments. But every morning you also wake up with one thing that is entirely yours: your perception. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayals, invasions, political storms, even plagues sweeping through the empire. Yet in the middle of chaos, he still wrote calmly, "I control my mind. It is enough." So say it with me now. Today I focus only on what I can control. Imagine what your life would feel like if this became your daily ritual. Before touching your phone, before letting the world rush into your mind, before allowing the noise of others to shape your mood, you anchor yourself with this mantra, just as a philosopher king once did. And here is your simple but powerful practice for today. Write down 2 things you can control: your effort and your attitude. Then write down 2 things you cannot control: other people's opinions and the outcomes of your actions. Circle only the first 2. That is your battlefield. Everything else is noise. Epictetus, another Stoic master, said, "It is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about them." When you master your mind, the world loses its power over you. Marcus began every morning with this reminder because he understood something most people never realize. Peace is not found in a perfect world. Peace is found in a disciplined mind. And if this mantra has helped you strengthen your inner walls, then the next one will take you even further, because mantra 2 will show you how to transform every obstacle into your advantage. Let's continue. Mantra 2. The obstacle is the way. Imagine a messenger sprinting through the marble corridors of the imperial palace, breathless, pale, clutching a sealed letter. He drops to one knee before Marcus Aurelius, hands trembling. Inside the letter is news that would send any ruler into panic. A rebellion has erupted on the frontier. Soldiers deserting, cities turning against Rome, the empire shaking. But Marcus does not panic. He does not shout or blame or collapse into fear. Instead, he walks calmly to his desk, opens his journal, and writes a single sentence: "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is the moment where most people break. But Marcus transforms pressure into power. And this idea, later known as the obstacle is the way, would inspire millions, from generals to CEOs to elite athletes. In fact, according to a 2022 Forbes analysis, 72% of high-performing leaders credit adversity as the key force that shaped them. Not ease, not comfort, but obstacles. Now pause for a breath, slow inhale, slow exhale. Reset your mind with me. Think about your own life. How many times has a setback become a turning point? A breakup that forced you to grow? A job loss that pushed you to reinvent yourself? A failure that taught you more than success ever could? Marcus wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." The Stoics believe that life throws obstacles not to punish you, but to train you. And the data supports this. Studies from the University of Pennsylvania show that people who consciously reframe obstacles increase resilience by up to 40%. So here's your challenge, your mantra for this morning. The next time you face a problem, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "How is this my training?" Because that's how Marcus saw it. Every challenge was a forge. Every difficulty was a teacher. Every obstacle was a doorway in disguise. Let's say this together. The obstacle is the way. Feel the truth of that. Let it settle. And now your practical exercise. Choose one obstacle in your life right now. Write it down. Under it, write 3 questions. What is this teaching me? How can I grow from this? What action can I take today, no matter how small? Then take that action. Momentum over perfection, discipline over fear. Marcus believed that the universe sends challenges as opportunities for virtue. Courage, patience, wisdom, none of these grow in comfort. They grow in resistance. As he wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but your estimate of it. Change the estimate and the obstacle transforms." And now, as you absorb this mantra, as you realize that every struggle can sharpen your soul, prepare yourself for something even deeper. Because mantra 3 will take you into the heart of endurance, the stoic power that separates the strong from the shaken. Let's move forward. Mantra 3, if it is endurable. Endure it, if not, stop complaining. Picture Marcus Aurelius standing on a battlefield at dawn. The air is thick with smoke, soldiers whispering prayers under their breath. He is exhausted, his body weakened by illness, his heart burdened by betrayal within his own ranks, and the weight of an empire resting entirely on his shoulders. Yet in this moment of fear and uncertainty, Marcus opens his journal and writes a line that reveals the core of Stoic endurance. If it is endurable, endure it. If not, stop complaining. Your choice solves nothing. This is not the voice of a man seeking comfort. This is the voice of a man who understands reality. The world will not stop for your pain. The universe will not adjust itself to your frustration. Complaining is simply misery rehearsed. And the Stoics knew this long before psychology discovered the same truth. According to Stanford research, complaining for just 30 seconds can increase stress hormones in your body for up to 30 minutes. Half a minute of venting, half an hour of suffering. Marcus Aurelius understood this long before cortisol was ever measured. Take a breath with me. Slow inhale, slow exhale, reset. Because here is the power wrapped inside this mantra: most discomfort is survivable. Most problems do not destroy us, they reveal us. Marcus faced war plague, the death of his children, political deception, and unimaginable pressure. And yet he never surrendered to self-pity. Instead, he reminded himself, the art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. Life pushes you, life presses you. But you endure not because suffering is noble, but because endurance is transformative. Let me ask you this: how many moments in your life felt unbearable at the time? Yet you survived every single one of them, every heartbreak, every failure, every sleepless night, every fear. You are still here. You are stronger than the memory of your suffering. Now say it softly with me: I choose calm over complaint. Let the words settle in your chest. Here is your practical exercise. Think of one situation in your life that you often complain about: your workload, a person, your finances, your circumstances. Write it down. Now ask yourself 2 questions. Is this endurable? If yes, what is one small action I can take today to move forward? If the answer is no, if the situation is truly beyond endurance, then something must change. Complaining is not strategy. Complaining is not progress. Only action is. As Seneca wrote, We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. And Marcus believed this deeply. Complaints cloud the mind. Endurance purifies it. Endurance is not weakness. Endurance is self-mastery. It is the moment you rise above what once defeated you. It is the quiet strength that whispers, "This is hard, but I am harder." Mantra 4. What stands in the way of tranquility? Myself imagine Marcus Aurelius sitting alone in his tent on a cold night along the Danube frontier. Outside soldiers march, fires crackle, and distant enemies wait beyond the river. But inside his mind a different battle is raging, one far more dangerous. A general had insulted him earlier that day. A messenger delivered troubling news. Whispers of political schemes echoed through the ranks. Yet Marcus does not blame any of them. Instead, he opens his journal and writes a sentence that cuts through centuries of human struggle. What stands in the way of tranquility, myself? This is the moment most people never reach the realization that our greatest source of disturbance is not the world, but our reaction to it. As he wrote elsewhere, it's not external things that harm you, but your own judgments about them. Modern psychology agrees, according to a 2020 UCLA study, up to 80% of daily stress comes not from events, but from internal interpretation, the stories we tell ourselves. Now take a breath with me. Slow inhale, slow exhale, reset. Marcus understood that tranquility is not achieved by controlling the world, it is achieved by mastering your inner dialogue. The Stoics believed that between stimulus and response lies your freedom. That tiny moment, that small gap, determines whether you stay calm or collapse, whether you choose clarity or chaos. Think about a recent moment where something small ruined your mood, a message, a tone, a delay, someone's careless comment. The event lasted seconds, but your mind carried it for hours. This is why Marcus wrote, "You have power over your mind, use it." Now whisper this with me. Is this a real problem or just my reaction? Here is your practical exercise. The next time you feel irritation rising, pause for just 3 seconds. Identify the emotion, label it, breathe. This technique, called effect labeling, is scientifically shown to reduce emotional intensity by up to 40%. It's not about suppressing emotion, it's about understanding it. Because tranquility is not the absence of problems. It is the absence of inner turbulence. Marcus mastered this not by escaping difficulty, but by observing his own mind with honesty and discipline. Mantra 5. Let no one steal your peace unless you hand it to them. Imagine the Roman Senate chamber, marble pillars rising toward a painted ceiling, voices echoing through the hall. Senators whisper behind Marcus Aurelius as he enters. Some envy him, some resent him, some attempt to provoke him, to shake him, to pull him into their political games. One senator steps forward and delivers a subtle insult disguised as a compliment. All eyes turn to Marcus, waiting for anger, retaliation, or at least a wounded reaction. But Marcus simply looks at him and remains silent. Later that night he writes, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't be." This is the essence of emotional sovereignty. Stoicism teaches that no one can disturb your peace unless you grant them access. As he wrote in Meditations, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, and letting others control your emotions is like handing them the brush. Modern psychology echoes this truth. A study conducted at the University of Cambridge found that emotional reactivity decreases by nearly 35% when individuals consciously separate external events from internal interpretation. In other words, when someone tries to upset you, the power is only theirs if you surrender yours. Now breathe with me. Slow inhale, slow exhale, reset. Think about how often you let others steal your peace. A rude comment, a dismissive look, someone cutting you off in traffic, a coworker's negativity. Most of the time, the disturbance lasts longer in your mind than the moment itself. And Marcus knew this well. That's why he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. Now say it softly with me. I remain the master of my emotions. Here is your practice for today. Choose one situation in which you typically react emotionally, perhaps criticism, impatience, or another person's tone. When it happens next, pause for 2 seconds and imagine your peace as a flame. Ask yourself, am I letting them blow it out? Then choose stillness. This micro-decision alone builds emotional resilience. Remember what others say reflects them, not you. Your response reflects your character, your discipline, your philosophy. As Epictetus reminded his students, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize your mind is complicit. In Stoicism, emotional strength is freedom. Mantra 6. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Imagine Marcus Aurelius walking through the Roman encampment at sunrise. A young soldier stands trembling after making a costly mistake. The commanders call for punishment, expecting Marcus to react with anger. Instead, he listens quietly, his expression calm. Later, he writes in Meditations, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." Marcus knew that every person carries invisible struggles, and harsh judgment only deepens suffering. The real work, he believed, was not policing others, but refining oneself. As he said, when someone does wrong, the harm is to their own soul, not to yours. Modern psychology supports this ancient wisdom. A University of Michigan study found that people who judge others harshly experience significantly higher emotional instability, while those who practice self-discipline show greater resilience and satisfaction. Now breathe with me. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Reset. Think about how often we criticize others for the same habits we overlook in ourselves: impatience, procrastination, frustration. Stoicism teaches us to reverse the lens, compassion outward, discipline inward. Not perfection, but accountability. Say this softly with me. Today I improve myself, not criticize others. Here is your practice for today. Choose one behavior in others that usually irritates you. When you encounter it, pause and ask, do I ever do this? If yes, work on it in yourself. If no, offer understanding. This single shift reduces conflict and strengthens character. Mantra 7. You could leave life right now. Picture Marcus Aurelius standing at the edge of his military camp, staring into a cold, endless horizon. Behind him lies an empire. Before him, uncertainty. He closes his eyes and whispers a reminder he repeated more than almost any other: you could leave life right now. Not as fear, not as despair, but as focus. To Marcus, memento. Mori wasn't morbid, it was liberating. It stripped away excuses, hesitation, and wasted days. He wrote, think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. Now breathe with me. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Reset your presence. Modern research echoes this ancient clarity. A study from Stanford University found that people who practice mortality awareness experience higher gratitude, reduced procrastination, and deeper life satisfaction. When time feels limited, life feels meaningful. Think about the moments you postponed dreams, delayed conversations, avoided steps you were afraid to take. If this day were your last, what would matter? What would lose its power? This mantra cuts through illusion. It reminds you that everything is temporary: your problems, your fears, even your opportunities. Say this quietly with me. Let me live today fully. Here is your practice for today. Choose one action you've been delaying: sending a message, starting a project, expressing gratitude, making a difficult decision. Take one small step toward it today. When urgency meets clarity, progress begins. Marcus used this mantra to sharpen his mind, deepen his presence, and anchor himself in purpose. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. Mantra 8. Waste no more time arguing what a good person should be. Be one. Imagine Marcus Aurelius walking through the halls of the Roman palace after a long night of debate among philosophers, senators, and advisors. They argue endlessly about ethics, virtue, morality, what it means to be good. The conversations stretch for hours, yet achieve nothing. Marcus listens, then quietly steps away, returning to his private journal. And there he writes one of his most powerful lines: waste no more time arguing what a good person should be. Be one. This is Stoicism distilled into action. No theory, no endless discussion, just character demonstrated through choices. Marcus believed that virtue is not an idea, it is a habit repeated daily. Modern behavioral science confirms this. Research from Duke University shows that up to 45% of our daily behavior is driven by habits, not decisions. Meaning who you become depends on what you repeat. Now breathe with me. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Reset your intention. Think about how often we talk about the life we want, the person we want to be, the standards we wish we lived by, but fail to act. Stoicism calls us back to simplicity, live with clarity, courage, kindness, and integrity in the small moments, not just the grand ones. Say this with me: I will act with clarity, courage, and kindness. Here is your practice for today. Choose one small act of virtue. Help someone without being asked. Admit a mistake. Speak kindly, follow through on a promise. Virtue is momentum. When you live it once, you are more likely to live it again. And now, as the 8 mantras settle into your mind, remember what Marcus Aurelius proved through the example of his life: greatness is not loud. Strength is not violent. Virtue is not announced, it is lived. This journey doesn't end here. It begins tomorrow morning with your next breath, your next decision, your next thought. Your mindset is already shifting. Now continue the transformation. Marcus Aurelius never sought to be remembered. Yet here we are, thousands of years later, still learning from the quiet rituals he practiced alone at sunrise. These mantras reshaped an emperor. Imagine what they can reshape in your life. If you want more Stoic wisdom, more morning mastery, and more inner strength, subscribe to Making Life Better. Like this video, share it with someone who needs calm and clarity today. And now a simple request, one that helps this message reach even more people. Comment the word focus below. It's the Stoic reminder Marcus lived by, and the mindset shift that begins changing everything. And remember, you already have the power. The morning is simply where you begin using it.